Today, from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, it's Week 6 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Arizona Cardinals.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we take a look at the Colts entering play. The losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. And trotting out there, their tall quarterback standing at 6'5".
And there was a positive in last week's loss. No interceptions thrown by him. But he only threw one touchdown pass, and you know he wants that to improve. He might even consider that as part of the reason that they couldn't take the win last time out. I believe we'll see a more aggressive version of him this week whenever they're nearing the end zone.
Jones looking to throw it on the first play. Got his man, it's Warren. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Throwing Jones. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 16 yards to pick up there. The Colts have a first down. They'll run. This is Jonathan Taylor. And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49. You look at this Arizona defense. They were excellent in that win over the 49ers last week.
I just consider myself fortunate that I'm not in charge of the offensive line. They gave up 7 sacks last week. And if things don't improve in this game, head coach isn't going to be looking at the offensive line. He's going to be looking at the offensive line coach. And that's when things get dicey.
Well, this defense for the Cardinals, they were excellent in that win over the 49ers last week.
And the way they did it was by getting after the quarterback. Sacked him 7 times in that game. Came from all angles, created a lot of illusions, and especially just beat them man for man. That's the kind of defense that really frustrates an opponent.
It'll be a gain of just a yard, and that'll bring up 4th down. On 4th down, the Colts will call on Rigoberto Sanchez for the punt. Yeah, last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there, and the Cards will take over 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by their quarterback, a first-round pick back in April's draft.
And he's got to be feeling pretty good about himself right now because he's coming off of a strong performance in their team's win last week. And you can just tell, even early in his rookie season, he's starting to get really comfortable out there, and things are starting to fall into place. In fact, in talking to the rival defensive coordinator of the team he's facing this week, he told me this young man's starting to get it.
First carry for James Conner. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. The numbers there for Connor in last week's game. Very productive. 3 touchdowns, 2 of them on the ground, 1 through the air.
And it will always be a compliment to say that a guy's got a nose for the end zone, and he sure had it last week.
2nd and 7. They'll look to throw here. A short one here, caught by McBride. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. A Cardinal first down on a gain of 13. On the counter, it's Connor. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. They'll get 13 yards for the 2nd play in a row. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. The Cardinals did a very solid 4-1 here in the early part of the year. And they've come in on a nice run of recent form. 4 wins out of 5.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7. Now a first carry here for their running back. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he is going to have a Cardinals first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5.
That's a very nice game there. A confidence-building run. Love the execution up front. And the way he pressed the hole, absolutely perfect.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And somehow he's going to get a yard out of this as he fought through that first contact. It's 2nd down. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another first down at the Colts' 24-yard line. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. They'll look to throw here on first down. Able to get this one to McBride. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's 2nd down. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Sets him up nicely. 1st and goal. It was a pickup of 14. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation. We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
5 yards from the end zone, 1st and goal. They'll run here with Connor. And he is in for 6. Touchdown, Cardinals. James Conner with career touchdown number 75. And the Cardinals will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. So that a great sequence for these guys to begin the ball game. They force the punt on one end, then come right down the field and score on the other.
And that's a great example of leaning on each other and building a little momentum that way. How about the defense forcing the punt, turns it over to the offense with confidence, and they take it downfield and score.
Point after, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it was a touchdown run by James Conner that was the exclamation mark. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Second drive coming up here for the Indianapolis Colts. Now they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first.
Here's a throw out wide complete to his running back right side. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now Jones. He finds his man complete. That's Warren. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A busy first quarter. His 3rd catch of the afternoon is a first down. Looking to throw. Jones. He finds his man complete. It's Warren. He'll go down as a gain of 6, and that'll make it 2nd down. Again, he'll drop to throw. He finds his man complete. That's Warren. 3rd catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down.
They've looked his way quite a bit, and in my estimation, as well they should.
Well, that's now 5 catches in this first half alone.
And he picks up another first down. He's been an important part of their offense here early.
And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
2nd and 10. They'll look to throw again. A throw for Pittman is intercepted. Picked up by Sean Murphy-Bunting. And the Cards will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line.
Well, this had trouble written all over from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different color jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. And now the drive starts with a completion out to the right. The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. You look at this Colt defense. They enter this one 18th in the NFL in stopping the run.
And when people talk about facing a challenge, they are certainly getting one in this ball game because they're facing the #1 rushing unit in the NFL, which means it's going to be a contest they've got to be prepared for from the first snap.
And Connor going to pick up a Cardinals first down as a tackle made at the 42. His first carry of their 2nd drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurdling through them.
And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. They'll set up to throw. Going right side here, and that's complete. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another first down at the Colts' 29-yard line. On first down, it's Benson. A gain of 3, 2nd down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Here's a 2nd and 7. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another first down at the Colts' 15-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. Now a battle for the football. It's caught. It's a touchdown. Marvin Harrison Jr., his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Cardinals have taken a 13-0 first quarter lead. Charles, every time that he makes one of these plays, I think the front office, they get a bigger and bigger collective smile because they feel more confident that they have found their guy, their future at quarterback. And they should feel that way. It's obvious he's a big part of why they have such a good record this season. You're right about the bright future as well, and by association, a bright future for the franchise too. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 14-0. So that drive in total 8 plays, and the Cardinals cap it with a touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one? I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of, do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks. On 2nd down, it's Taylor. Trying to find some space to turn upfield, but this defense having none of it. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss. Jones to throw on 3rd down. Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Buda Baker with a pick. And just shutting him off there. And they will score. It's a pick-6 for the Cardinals touchdown. Charles, it is pretty rare that we see a team build this kind of lead in the opening quarter. And, man, they seem to be clicking on all 3 phases right there. The defense doing its part with a pick-6. And it's absolutely been the definition of a start that you would pick for yourself and for your team, right? And I have a feeling that they just want to stay in this zone. What's truly incredible about this start is they can add on a couple more scores. This one could legitimately be over in the 2nd quarter. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 21-0. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And the returner down to a knee, and this will come out to the 30-yard line. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right? Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball. Well, these guys certainly need something good to go their way because this first quarter has been something of a disaster for them trying to move the ball. But that completion there maybe can get them focused and moving in the right direction. One play has them up past the 40 already and another 1st and 10. Up the middle, here's Taylor. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
From the 46-yard line, a 2nd down and 6. Back to throw. Jones. And the pressure will bring him down here. The Cardinals get home for the sack. Isaiah Simmons getting by the offensive line and dropping the quarterback. (21-0) our score after 1. Second quarter now from Indianapolis with the homestanding Colts in possession, as they've got it with a 3rd down and long coming up. Looking to throw. Jones. He'll drop this down to Taylor, and he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down. To punt on 4th down, here's Rigoberto Sanchez. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off, and he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
Pretty good results here on the 1st down run as he takes this forward for about 6.
From the lineman to the guy running with it, that was a well-executed 1st down by the offense. With 2 shots left to get the first, you can get a little aggressive here on 2nd down if you want and try for some bigger yardage.
2nd and 4. Throwing right, and that's complete. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Rookie to rookie on the hook up there, and it's a 1st down.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. On that last run, he's now hit the 6,000-yard mark for rushing yards in his career.
And moves him squarely into the top 100 rushers of all time. In fact, he can boast that he's rushed for over 1,000 yards more than Gale Sayers did in his career. And Gale Sayers was a Hall of Famer in a short career.
2 minutes gone by, 2nd quarter. Right back to Connor here on 1st. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. Now back to throw. A short one here, caught by McBride. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. The Cardinal passing game dialed in now. 1st down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed,
they got his man complete. Touchdown. Marvin Harrison Jr. with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Cards continue to pull away here in this 1st half. I'll let you do the analysis, partner, but with every touchdown pass this young quarterback throws and with the success that his team has had.
Do the analysis. Impressed. Aren't we both?
Yeah.
I mean, and why shouldn't we be? We've seen him improve throughout the year. We've seen him settle in now, and you can see the confidence of the team has grown. His confidence has grown. I think that everyone around this guy feels good about what they've seen, and it's also safe for him when he's driving home to turn on Sports Talk Radio. He's okay.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded right at the goal line. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Here comes Jonathan Taylor and his teammates. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. The big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already. Operating from the gun. Jones out of his hands quickly to Pittman. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to throw. Jones. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Isaiah Simmons. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if I'm going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try and wait until the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down, because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play, because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
They'll try and run for the first with Taylor. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. On 1st down, Jones. And it's caught. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 18 yards there, and it'll be a 1st and goal. Looking to throw. Jones. And that is caught. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Colts are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. The point after is good. And it's now a 28-7 ball game. That time a 9-play drive. And it culminates in an Indianapolis touchdown. And that'll be a little too hot to handle, as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here. There's James Conner now as he trots back onto the field. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Nice chunky yards on 1st down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on 2nd. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
52 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
On 2nd down, Conner looking for space. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain that time, as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. They'll try and run forward with Conner. And he's able to pick up the 1st before he's taken down at the 27. And 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Charvarius Ward. And the Colts are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. They've got a pretty comfortable lead right now, but maybe a little too careless with the football that time for the rookie.
I think the key word there is comfortable. And there's 2 schools of thought on it. With that type of a lead, maybe you can take a few more chances because you have a cushion. Others will tell you, don't eat up the cushion with careless play. He'll learn to ride that line as he moves on in his career.
And now a stoppage, and looks like we have a Colt who was shaken up on that last play. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Four minutes to play here in quarter number 2. Now Jones looking to throw on 2nd down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. The Colts on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and a mile. Running straight ahead, Taylor. Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. And the safety there, another mistake, and these mistakes just keep piling up.
How many more can they make? They put themselves in such a massive hole now. It's going to be difficult to dig out from under.
Yeah, for sure they can't afford anymore at this point. So a free kick situation forthcoming from the 20 as they'll punt this one away. That's taken on the 25. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
He doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. That ball caught by Harrison. Touchdown, Cardinals. Marvin Harrison Jr. on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Cardinals are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. And this is turning out to be something to monitor as this game goes along. That's now 3 touchdown catches for him here in this first half alone. Extra point attempt to come here. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Those are the kind of drives they like on offense, from the coordinator to the quarterback, the line, everybody. 1 play drive and into the end zone for 6. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This taken in at the goal line. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And now their hill to climb has gotten taller. They had the safety last time they had the football. That led to the touchdown a moment ago. So that deficit going in the wrong direction as they try to right the ship here. 1st and 10. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Here's Jones on 1st down. He finds his man complete. It's Warren. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A gain of 11 that time, and a Colts 1st down.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
1st and 10, Taylor now. He'll take this to the 46. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. From the 46, here's the 2nd and 8. Operating from the gun, Jones. He finds his man complete. That's Warren. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Jones now on 3rd down. Oh, and Jones has just thrown his 3rd interception. Well, there are several factors at play for why they face this deficit right now, Charles, but that's now 3 interceptions that he has thrown, and just giving the football away pretty careless here in the opening half.
Yeah, I know that all of our parents taught us to share as youngsters, but in this game, you don't want to share with the other team. Keep it for yourself. Keep it for your team. Got to cut down on all of those throws, those errant passes, if they hope to get back into this game.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. He's going to sling this deep downfield. Touchdown, Cardinals. A great effort there. 46 yards. And the Cardinals extend their lead yet again. So the numbers are starting to pile up here early on. We have yet to reach halftime, yet that is already now 4 touchdown passes. Now the try here for the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see, just 1 play resulting in the touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Now couldn't take the chance. This will be returned from the goal line. And he won't quite make it to the 25. And the Colts coming out now.
Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back.
Jones hit, and the ball's out.
And this ball recovered by the offense, but remember, they cannot advance it here in the final 2 minutes of the half. So this will be blown dead, and it'll come back to the spot of the fumble.
Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered because had the defense gotten it, they were already within a shadow of the goalpost.
Yeah, and then you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position.
They'll give him 4 yards there. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. This time they stay on the ground. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on 4th down to punt this thing. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It's a net of 40 there, punt of 48, and a return of 8. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half.
Here we go, let's get him.
Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Looking to throw.
Oh, he's going up top for Wilson.
And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will do it for this first half. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Cardinals out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you, too, in a bit. For now, plenty of early game action around the NFL to get you caught up on, so let's get to it. We'll start over at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, and those two are tied up as they play the second quarter. We'll stay in the NFC North as we head over to Minneapolis to check on the Vikings at home in U.S. Bank Stadium. And you can see, currently they trail in that ball game. It's Jaden Daniels with 3 touchdown passes. Finally, let's get down to the Bayou. Check in on the Saints at home at the Caesars Superdome. And in that one, it's the visiting Dolphins who are out in front. 2 touchdown passes there for Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number. 3. The Cards with a lead, and they will get this football first as the second half gets started. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. The Cardinals ready to go here to start the third quarter. Third quarter starts with a run from Connor. And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that is incomplete, nearly intercepted. The free safety couldn't quite get his hands around it, and it brings up third down. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Back to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Cardinals first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Well, up big, but still not hesitating to take some shots downfield, CD. I guess they really want to hammer home their dominance in this one.
Yeah, that much is apparent, partner. If they keep completing throws like that, they'll keep that gap awfully wide as they've established already.
73 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. Seemed like a couple sets of eyes were on the quarterback, so he decided, hey, I'm going to hand this off. Got a good gain out of it.
And you know you need good blocking up front in order to gain yardage. But every one of these RPOs, if you do it right and they look the same, whether it's handed off inside or the quarterback keeps it, that allows you to fool the defense so often. And in this case, fooled them with the inside run.
Ready, set.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Steps away to his left. The ball comes out. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it. We talk a lot about setting the tone to start the game. Well, you want to start the tone right in the third quarter as well, and nearly lost a football there in their first drive.
And sometimes we overdo it when we talk about halftime adjustments and what teams are going to do. Most of the time, it's just a matter of executing the game plan you brought in. But I'll guarantee you, they didn't draw that play up on the whiteboard at halftime. They're fortunate to retain possession.
On third down, it's Connor. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. 12 yards to pick up. Good enough for an Arizona first.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Back to throw now on first down. Leaping, and he makes the grab. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. No gain on the screen there. It's second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1 yard line. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's third down. He'll drop to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cardinals. A great play there with his second touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Cardinals take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Well, to put it mildly, he's been able to dice up this secondary all game long, and this time that was a missile that he threw into the end zone and adding another touchdown to his ledger.
And I think we see these youngsters develop a lot quicker than we ever have, because when they get started in this game, they're not just throwing passes around. They're reading coverages early. So now they're like seasoned pros earlier in their career. How about this one here? If they win this ball game, a game ball definitely coming from his head coach.
The Cardinals set now to kick this one away, and off we go.
Taken at the goal line. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
You ain't gonna burn me.
Here's the Colts now as they get ready for their first possession on offense of the second half. Jones throwing on first down.
That's complete. It's Greg Dulcich.
And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
From the gun, it's Taylor.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And he goes out right around the 39. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And that's going to make it 4th down. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. They'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10. James Conner and the Cardinal. Offense ready to get back to work.
He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that second score here in the third quarter.
And this is going to be a Cardinals first down as he's got this up to about the 34-yard line.
I don't know what this says about me, but I love successful runs up the middle when the blocking is so well executed like that.
And it doesn't matter whether it's zone blocking, whether it's a power scheme. When you have a blocker on a defender and then the running back can read it, find the proper hole, and just go, is sometimes a thing of beauty.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it.
Open man here is Benson.
Short completion, just 4 yards, and that's going to bring up second down.
And that's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
19 Tiger. Watch the slap. 60 Maverick.
They're going to look to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A first down and then some. Give him 29 yards.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
A give up the middle with Benson. And some strong running there as he's down just shy of the 20 on the edge of the red zone.
This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone.
18 Cardinal. Check right. 48.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at second down. Now a first carry for their fullback. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or 2 short here with 3rd down coming up. And again, they'll go right back to their fullback. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
They've definitely established a rhythm on this drive, moving the ball quite well. And big man with football is an integral part of the whole thing.
Stephanie, 60 Bison.
Algier with it.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona.
Tyler Algier, his 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Cardinals are pouring it on. Well, on the other sideline right now, it's just absolute dejection. But, Charles, let's focus on the positive. With the lead that they built here, they've done pretty much everything to perfection in this ball game.
They certainly have. Makes me think that their week of preparation was excellent. And they flowed into this game, and it carried over. And right now, I don't expect them to back off at all. They're playing so well, they just want to keep it going.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
That's going to be taken at the goal line, and he'll return it. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
And the Colts getting ready to go.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
Well, still in the third quarter here. Now, you look at the scoreboard, that deficit probably a little too much to overcome, but completions like that may be something to build on for future weeks.
Yeah, it's all about ending things on a strong note here, isn't it? Because my mindset is it's a new ball game from here to the end. Make sure it's a good one and close it out.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Give the Colts 13 yards and a first down. Back to throw. Jones. That's caught. It's Josh Downs. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. So into territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Now a give to Taylor. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. We're just looking at the scoreboard and where we're at in the third quarter. I don't know that it's going to matter much at this point, CD, but these small runs on the ground, they're not going to get it done.
No, they're not. And right now, the guys stopping the run have been superior in this ball game, giving them no openings, no seam.
Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. Touchdown, Indianapolis. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Colts are able to at least get one score back. Extra point right down the middle. So they do get one score back, but still a long way to go here in the third quarter.
Sanchez now, he'll kick it away following the touchdown. And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. There's James Conner now as he trots back onto the field. We've seen him be good so far. He's hoping to continue that trend here in quarter number 3.
And typically when you see guys running it this well, they see the game in slow motion, don't they? They see the cuts happen. They see the blocks happen. They feel really good about their vision. And then they use their legs to find that open space.
And he's had some good help up front to boot. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49.
69 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10. They'll drop to throw.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
That's a tough spot for a running back coming out of the backfield because you know he's got to look for the football, knowing full well he's got a man coming his way, full steam, and he broke that one up.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Well, they had that one snipped out defensively. That's a tough one to connect on when you got multiple defenders in the area, and it winds up incomplete.
Back to throw here. And that is incomplete.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
Here comes the Cardinals punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. And this will pin him back deep. That's going to kick out of bounds right at about the 7-yard line. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go.
Right now, Charles, it just feels like they're trying to keep pace. They did score the touchdown last time out, but they still trail by double digits here. We'll see if this offense is once again up to the task.
Yeah, and I think that after the last drive, they've gotten pretty revved up, don't you think? Everything they were doing was working pretty well. They go back out there with the same mindset, playing the same tempo and the same pace. Still a lot of time left to make something happen in this one.
not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Now Jones on 1st and 10. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Operating from the gun. Jones. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. Another good reception there. The Colts on the march.
Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the fourth quarter with how wide this advantage is. For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a positive drive and then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, if this had been a concert, you would have heard plenty of sour notes in this one. But they certainly don't want to end it on one. They want to put together a few more throws like that and at least have a final drive to give them a little bit more hope as they move forward.
Back to throw again.
And this is going to fall to the ground, incomplete. That very nearly their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
To throw again. Jones.
And this one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football. Nearly a 4th pick of the ball game.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. And now that brings up 4th down there, a loss of 6 yards on the sack.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more than he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. And now the Colts call on their field goal unit here. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good, and they will remain well behind.
NFL kickers nowadays, they make things look so easy because normally from this range, about 2 out of 3. And this is not an easy kick.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you get where he was in that 50 range, maybe a little over. And it's a big kick, but now we just, if they leave it short, you're like, whoa, what happened? And that's what we have here.
Yeah, you're right. 20 years ago, we were saying run some more plays and get closer. Now we think they're definitely within range, and you're exactly right. When it comes up short, there has to be something that went wrong because they have plenty of leg.
They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there, 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Oh, that'll be incomplete. Oh, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
On 3rd down, they'll try and pick it up with a counter.
It's a solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. 88 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll look to throw.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable third down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And fourth down now coming up. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And that will extend their lead even further. So that, Charles, a season long right there.
And you know who's really excited about that? The special teams coordinator, because he's the one who has to tell the head coach in pregame, this is where we trust him from. This distance, he can hit it, and he repaid that trust by knocking that one right through.
Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over.
And just looking ahead, it would appear that that bye week is coming at the right time. They'll have 2 weeks to chew on this one, though probably not one that they want to chew on. A poor performance from start to finish.
Here's Jones throwing to start the drive. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Looking to throw. Jones. Pressure comes, and the Cardinals bring him down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
Pardon my vocabulary isn't that great, but to me, there's only one word that fits this front seven today, and that's dominant. 4 and 5 sacks is already rare in one game. Getting to more than 6 in one contest while winning by this many points, an absolutely astounding effort by every player involved.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
And this taken in by Downs.
A gain of 8 there on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away.
A very good punt, but a 16-yard return.
And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50. First and 10. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over.
CD, I mean, they have just been scoring at will. It's been score after score after score, and a lot of times we use the term blowout for a lopsided ball game. And this has kind of gone past that. I think we're in historic territory right now.
You nailed it. Historic territory. Perfect phrase for what we are watching. If this were a movie, what kind of rating would we put on it? Who would you allow to watch what we're watching right now? Let's hope this one gets over fast, because this game, well decided a long time ago.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down. They'll try to run for it with Benson. And a pretty good burst right there as he'll take this down to the 33. A gain of 10, 1st down, Arizona.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defense in front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
But their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, this is a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. And this one is right through. And that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately, not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Now the Colts offense gets ready to head back on the field.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Here's a throw, complete right side to start things out. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Operating from the gun, Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A gain of 11 that time, and a Colts first down. Back to throw. Jones. And his throw is incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages. I think this one offensively, this is one where you just say, let's move on. Let's not even watch the game tapes from this one.
Yeah, you might just want to throw it in the trash, act like it was never there in the first place.
Yeah, just say we're good. I actually have heard of a coach in the past who took his team out to the practice field and ceremonially buried the game films from the prior game when they got clobbered. That was his way of putting it behind them.
Jones now on first down.
That to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
I'll tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Oh, yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. On 2nd and 10, Jones, he finds his man, complete. That's Warren. That'll leave him with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. On 3rd and 2, Jones. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Cardinals are going to take possession here at their own 33. Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. They'll start on the ground here on first down. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
I know the game's not over, but there's got to be a sense of satisfaction right now for the guy carrying the football a bunch today. 99 yards, and he has enough time to go over the century mark.
Well, you got to give it to him again, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You're not worried about losing yardage here. You're not worried about any of that. You just want to get him to the promised land for every runner. 100 yards or more in a game.
And they got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
Well, big man with ball met bigger man on the other side of the line. A really nice play for the defense.
Two yards still to go. 3rd down now. One back in the backfield. He'll get the carry. And he is going to have a Cardinals first down by a couple of yards as they're able to get 4 there on 3rd and 2. They'll set up a throw. Looking left sideline. It's complete. He's got this to the 30 before being taken down. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Well, they have been unstoppable this afternoon, Charles. They just went after them from the start, and pass plays like we just saw. They're continuing their dominance here despite the big lead in the 4th quarter.
And that they have in every way, and plays like that across all phases of the game, they've just been effortless for them in this one. And that's what's helped them build such a large lead and allowed them to smile as this game continues.
And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, the only silver lining on the other sideline, CD, is that they kept him out of the end zone, but still, that's another 3 points added on to this large lead.
Yeah, no shortage of scoring or big plays on defense in this one. And even up by 4 possessions, still finding ways to create opportunities and capitalize with points.
And he'll wisely just take a knee here. This ball will come out to the 30-yard line. For the Colts now, they're ready to get the football back. But not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone that looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
Jones throwing on first down. He finds his man, complete. That's Warren. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Looking to throw. Jones. He finds his man, complete. That's Warren. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. The throw over the middle, taken in. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. And quickly, they get to the line. He finds his man, complete. That's Warren. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20.
Here's 2nd and 7.
Back to throw. Jones. Quick throw, that's complete on the inside slant. And the Colts are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5. Looking to throw. Jones. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
A try here for the extra point. And they make the score a little bit more respectable here in our final quarter of play. So this drive spans 7 plays. And the result for the Colts is a touchdown.
Sanchez now, he'll kick it away following the touchdown. And that one going to hop into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field.
Now they are really in the driver's seat here, enjoying this lead late in the fourth quarter. The defense does have all 3 timeouts, but at this point, doesn't look like it's going to matter much.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked up by Charvarius Ward. And the Colts are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. That's not one that he's going to want to remember, but he had to get it out of the way at some point. His first career interception.
And if he's the guy that they think he is, he's not laughing it off, but he's also not going to let it affect him as the game proceeds. He's going to go back out there, still be the same confident kid, the reason that they drafted him, and go out and play.
And they're going to speed things up here. Now Jones on 1st and 10. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Warren. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. That'll give him 8 that time. And that'll bring up a 2nd down in just a couple.
I don't care what sport you're playing. Everyone likes to build up a little momentum, don't they? And look at this, back-to-back completions to the big target at tight end.
That one not as profitable as the other, but still a decent game. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
And my goodness, another interception. And the Cards are going to take over at their own 30-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. They came into this one with a vision, Charles, and it has played out exactly as they had hoped, if not even better. They've got the huge lead here, and now the football for the final moments of the fourth.
Yeah, and it was apparent that they were the better team, right? We figured that out pretty early, but give them a lot of credit for staying with it. They didn't stumble around out there. They didn't create a lot of errors for themselves because they were the superior team. They took care of business and closed them out pretty quickly.
Now Minshew has it knocked out. Fumble.
And the Colts pick it up. And that will write a finish to this ball game.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance. Well, by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go to each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for the Cards, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Colts, the loss here will move them back to 500 at 3-3. And now they'll head to the bye week as they'll be back in action in Week 8. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we say so long from Indy.